Hey everyone, welcome back to Podcast and Chill.
The place where you pick up English without falling asleep. I'm Leo.
And I'm Gwen. So, how's your English learning journey going, guys?
Bet they've hit that same old wall again?
What wall?
You want to learn English, but somehow life keeps getting in the way, and before you know it, not a single English word is left in your head.
I see what's going on. Do you know what they really need?
What's that?
A study plan.
A study plan? That sounds like too much trouble. I'm not sure they've got the time for that.
It's not about cramming for hours. It's about carving out just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes? That's not so bad, right?
That's right. So, let's break it down and show them how to make it work.
So what's the first step of the plan?
First things first, we need to kick things off with a quick warm-up. It'll only take about 3 minutes.
How exactly can someone warm up for a study plan? Should I stand up and stretch or something?
Not a bad idea, but by warm up, I mean doing a quick vocab activity.
All right, I'm all ears.
For the warm up, pick out 5 words to focus on.
Why just 5? Why not go big with 20 or even 50?
Because 5 is more manageable.
How manageable are we talking about here?
According to psychologist Miller's famous study, the brain can juggle 5 to 9 pieces of new info at once effectively.
And what happens if we try to push beyond that?
Our brain gets overloaded and we burn out, which means we forget things a lot faster.
Got it. So, how do we actually learn these 5 words?
Once you pick them, write each one down, say it out loud, and use it in a simple sentence.
Why bother with a sentence? Isn't just knowing the meaning enough?
Not really. Nation's study shows that using words in sentences helps you nail down their meanings and how they fit in the context.
I didn't know that.
It's simple but super effective. Write them, say them, and use them. For example, take the word journey.
Okay, I'll write it, say it out loud, and use it in a sentence. I'm excited for my journey to the mountains.
Nailed it. That's exactly how you warm up.
But what if someone struggles to pick words or doesn't know where to start?
They can always use apps like Quizlet or a good old vocabulary book for reference. They're great for finding and organizing words.
That's handy.
It is. You should definitely give them a shot.
So, what's the plan after the 3-minute warm-up?
The next step is practicing listening, and it should take about 4 minutes.
Fair enough. Listening is a big deal for getting the hang of spoken English. So, what's the plan here?
The idea is to tune into a short podcast, video, or even a song.
I can already see beginners getting overwhelmed. There can be a ton of words they don't know.
That's the trick. You don't need to hang on every single word. Just focus on catching the general gist of what's being said.
Why is that? Shouldn't we aim to get every single detail?
According to Creation's input hypothesis, if you listen to content that's a bit challenging, it helps you figure out the meaning from the context, instead of stressing over every single word.
Ah, I get it now. It's more about seeing the big picture than focusing on the small details.
Yep. It boosts overall comprehension without frying your brain over unfamiliar terms.
Do you have any go-to resources for English learners?
If podcasts are your thing, try BBC Learning English or ESL Pod. They're great for picking up conversational language.
And what about songs? I'm more of a music person.
Then stick with slower songs like Imagine by John Lennon.
Makes sense. Slow songs are easier to keep up with compared to the fast ones.
That's the idea. Start with slow, short content to ease yourself in. No need to bite off more than you can chew.
Plus, we've only got 4 minutes for this step. Why cram your brain with long content when you can keep it simple? It's time to break down some key vocabulary we've talked about today. First, burnout. It means to become extremely tired or exhausted, especially from overworking. For example, if you don't take breaks, you might burn out from the pressure.
Second, nail down. It means to successfully complete or clarify something. For example, We need to nail down the details of the event before we send the invitations.
Third, give something a shot. It means to try something, often without knowing the outcome. For example, I've never tried cooking Indian food, but I'll give it a shot.
Fourth, hang on something. It means to depend on something or wait for something important. For example, she's hanging on the news about her job application.
Finally, bite more than one can chew. It means to take on more responsibility or tasks than one can handle. For example, he bit off more than he could chew by agreeing to manage both projects at the same time.
Now, let's discuss 2 questions about our topic.
I'm ready. What do you have for me?
The first question is, why is it important to keep the warm-up short and focus on just 5 words?
It's because 5 words are easier to manage. Our brain can handle 5 to 9 pieces of new information at once. Any more, and it gets overloaded.
Great answer. The second question is, how can we make the most out of the listening practice?
By focusing on the general meaning instead of getting stuck on every word. It helps improve comprehension without overwhelming you.
Good job. What about you, listeners?
Share your thoughts in the comment section below.
Now that we've ticked off listening practice, let's move on to speaking.
How long should we spend on speaking?
For a 15-minute study plan, one should spend 4 minutes speaking.
What can we do in 4 minutes?
More than you expect, yet simpler than you think. All you have to do is practice speaking aloud.
That's it?
Yep, that's it. Start by talking about your day or answering a few easy questions.
Like what?
Well, try things like, what did you do today? Or, what are your plans for tomorrow?
How does answering basic questions help?
The goal is just to get into the habit of speaking in English.
But how do I know if I'm saying things right?
Great question. If you can, record yourself.
Listening to my own voice sounds so awkward.
I get it. You'll probably cringe at first, but trust me, it's a game changer. You'll pick up on mistakes and know what to improve.
Oh, I see. So if something sounds off, I can straighten it out next time?
Exactly. Plus, there's research by Horwitz that says recording yourself not only sharpens pronunciation, but also eases speaking anxiety.
So I'm boosting not only my speaking skills, but also my confidence?
Yep, it's like hitting 2 birds with 1 stone.
We still have 4 minutes left in the plan. What do we do next?
Next, we should spend another 2 minutes brushing up on our reading skills.
Oh, reading. This one's really important for improving our vocabulary and pronunciation. What do we do in this step then?
With just 2 minutes, you can dive into a short paragraph.
Where can I find a short paragraph?
You can grab one from a book, skim a news article, or use apps like Duolingo Stories.
Got it. How does this help exactly?
The goal is to focus on your pronunciation and understanding of the text.
Should I keep it quiet or read it out loud?
Read out loud for sure. It'll help you get the hang of English sounds and boost your fluency.
Makes sense. Anything else I should keep in mind?
Don't just stick to the words. You should make sure you're soaking up the meaning too.
Got it. But what if I stumble across a word I don't know?
If you come across a word you don't know, look it up and add it to your vocabulary list. That way, you're building your word bank and sharpening your understanding at the same time.
Ah, now I see how it all clicks.
But don't go overboard looking up every single word. Just stick to 1 or 2 unfamiliar ones.
Why?
Otherwise, you'll run out of time and brain power.
Noted. So, what's the plan for the last 2 minutes?
We kick things off with a warm-up, so it only makes sense to wrap it up with a quick reflection.
Reasonable.
This is where you take a step back and look at what you've learned today.
All right, what do we do in this 2-minute wrap-up?
First, run through the words, phrases, or sentences you practiced. See how much you can recall.
So, kind of like a mini review to check if I remember everything?
Exactly. And while you're at it, think about which words stuck with you and which ones were tricky.
Copy that.
And make it personal, too. Tie your learning to topics you love.
I know, right? Learning stuff I actually care about will keep me going strong.
Tracking your progress helps keep you motivated, too.
Oh, right. I could keep a notebook or even use an app to log new words and phrases every day.
You can also try a journal prompt like, "Today, I learned the word journey. I'll use it tomorrow when I talk about my weekend plans."
Why is that helpful?
Because writing it down again in a sentence reinforces it. It's a small but powerful trick to lock those words into your memory.
That makes a lot of sense.
And don't forget that consistency is the magic ingredient. Stick to this routine even when you're swamped.
Got it. So, everyone, take our advice and keep at it. Hey, Gwen, let's go over some more phrases today. First, dive into something. It means to start something with a lot of energy and enthusiasm. For example, I'm excited to dive into this new book this weekend.
Second, get the hang of something. It means to learn how to do something or become good at it. For example, it took me a while to get the hang of driving, but now it's easy.
Third, stumble across something. It means to find something by chance or unexpectedly. For example, I stumbled across an old photo album while cleaning out the closet.
Fourth, look up something. It means to search for information about something. For example, I need to look up the address of the restaurant before we leave.
Finally, run out of something. It means to use all of something so that there is none left. For example, we ran out of milk, so I need to go to the store.
Now, let's discuss 2 more questions about our topic.
I'm all ears. What's the first question?
Why is it important to practice speaking?
It's important because it helps you develop the habit of speaking in English without feeling overwhelmed.
Good point. Do you have a question for me?
Sure. Why do you think it's important to reflect on what you've learned?
Reflecting lets you look back at the words or phrases you practiced and see how much you've remembered. It also helps you figure out what you still need to work on.
Good answer.
What are your answers, listeners?
Share your thoughts in the comment section below.
So, we've covered a lot today, Leo. How are you feeling?
Honestly, I'm feeling pretty good. It doesn't seem so hard to squeeze all this into my day.
Right? Just 15 minutes a day can really make a big difference in your English journey. First, we start off with a 3-minute warm-up with some vocabulary.
Then we move on to a 4-minute listening practice.
After that, we continue with a 4-minute speaking practice.
Make sure to include a 2-minute reading practice.
And last but not least, don't forget to bring everything to a close with a 2-minute wrap-up.
I didn't realize it could be that simple. I always thought I had to study for hours.
It's all about being consistent. Those 15 minutes will add up, and you'll start seeing real progress.
I can totally do that. I'm sticking to it.
And so can our listeners.
So, what do you think about this 15-minute study plan? Does it sound doable to you?
Drop us a comment and let us know.
This is Podcast and Chill. I'm Leo.
And I'm Gwen. Thanks for tuning in.
See you in our next episode.